Good afternoon, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Today I'm going to give you the instructions that you're going to need to complete your solubility lab in the next 2 days. So the first part is, hopefully you recognize these terms, molecular, complete ionic, and net ionic, and we will use this as review, and you're going to go back in lab and create some solubility rules, and then write some net ionic equations. AP Chem really likes to focus on these net ionic equations right here, and so we want to make sure you remember how to do that. So here's going to be our example. And for example, we are going to take and write our molecular equation. My board is going to go away on me. Between aluminum nitrate and sodium carbonate. So I can take aluminum nitrate. You can look at your cation anion sheets if you need to remember how to do these. We are going to use all aqueous solutions back there, and we are going to combine this with sodium carbonate, is also an aqueous substance, results in a double replacement reaction of a aluminum carbonate. And this is going to be the solid, and we are combining it with sodium nitrate, which is always going to be aqueous. You will notice that there is going to be nitrates involved in everything because they are completely soluble. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to balance these. This is the molecular equation that you should be used to doing. Then from there, if you recall from last year, for our complete, you are going to separate everything into all compounds into their ions for anything that's aqueous, and obviously a precipitate isn't ionizing, it's staying together as a solid, so I'm going to keep it that way. So I'm going to distribute the moles through each of these compounds to get the number of ions that are reacting. So I have 2 aluminums, and we write the charge as a superscript, reacting with 2 nitrates. And we have 6 sodium ions reacting with 3 carbonate ions. And that is producing the aluminum carbonate precipitate. And 6 sodium ions plus 6 nitrate ions. Okay, so that's our complete ionic. When we say the word ionic, we should be thinking about the ions that you see there as superscripts. And then AP always wants the net. They don't really care how you get there, but they're going to ask for the net. If you recall, we need to now cancel out the ions that are the same on both sides. So you can see I have 6 sodium on the reactant side, 6 sodium ions on the product side. The same thing with my nitrates. I must have did the math wrong. I did. Look at my mistake. 3 times 2, this should be a 6. And then those 6 sodium ions are going to react with those 6 nitrate ions. And then I have my net. So what I have left then is I have my aluminum ions, 2 moles of it, reacting with 3 moles of my carbonate ion. And I'm getting aluminum carbonate. And this is my solid. So this is what is reacting together to make our precipitate. Now, the lab is going to ask you to write a couple sets of these, so I want to talk about that. So hopefully you have your lab sheet in front of you. If you don't, go ahead and pause and wait. So in this lab, you'll be combining in spot plates. So hopefully you remember what spot plates are. They're back there in lab, containing 6 different cations and sodium reagents and 9 different anions. So you're going to do 2 to 3 drops of each one in the spot plate, record your observations using a positive formation of a precipitate or a solid, record the color observed, and write the compound formula responsible. I'll show you what that means in just a second, and then use a dash if there's no reaction. So a change in color or the intensity of color does not mean that it's occurred. And then upon completion of the lab, you need to complete the following. You only need to write 3 net ionic equations, just 3 of them, and make sure that they are ones from different rows and columns. I'll show you that. And you need to turn those in and then make sure that you answer these questions. So it's not anything in your lab notebook, you're just going to be turning it in like this. So if you turn your sheet over, you should have a chart like this, and it's going to show you how to cross these substances. So you can see that you can set up your spot plates however you want. I have trays for each one of you, and then if any of the bottles are empty, I do have the large bottles for you to be able to refill. So one that I'm going to give you that is a positive is find, let's see, we'll do the first one in the first row, so sodium chloride with lead nitrate. You cross sodium chloride with lead nitrate, you test this one, no reaction. There's not going to be a reaction here. This one is going to be positive, so we're going to put a positive. We understand that it's going to be sodium nitrate with lead 2 chloride. Well, sodium and nitrate, like I just showed you, is always going to be soluble. So it's the other anion that's responsible for the precipitate. So lead 2 chloride is PbCl2, and that also said to write down the color. And for this one, you are going to get a white precipitate. So you guys need to continue to fill in this chart, and then you need to choose 3 combinations to write your net ionics. So don't choose them from the same row because they're going to be similar compounds. So you're going to choose something from here, let's say, and then here, and then something else that doesn't match. Make sure there are 3 different ones that are not in the same row or column. All right, you guys have an awesome day. I know you're going to enjoy this. There's some cool colors that you're going to see. And be some rock star chemists today. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.